Good morning, viewers. My name is Karan, and I welcome you to yet another series of College Dunia Thoughtful Leaders. Today on our panel, we have Dr. Arvinder Singh Chawla, the Vice Chancellor of RIMT University. We welcome you to our show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
To our viewers, Dr. Chawla. To our viewers, Dr. Chawla is the Vice Chancellor of RIMT University. In his career experience spanning over 40 years, he has worked as a dean, professor, and an advisor in India and overseas. He has done extensive research work and has written over 10 books. Alongside, he has completed numerous R&D projects. His experience in supervising research at a doctorate level has helped over 24 candidates complete the doctoral research under his supervision. He has participated in numerous conferences and seminars and hold membership of numerous universities' bodies. We are pleased to have you on our show, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, moving ahead to our first question, being the Vice Chancellor of RIMT University, what is your philosophy of leadership and how would you describe your leadership style?
Well, Karan, I think I mentioned in the written note also, we have been listening too much about leadership styles and whatever, even reading also when we were at the undergraduate level while we were studying in the colleges. But something which came to my mind, all through last 4 decades, there have been different concepts and ideas about leadership which has been influencing our mind. But the most influenced idea and the one which I have been practicing in my life is the definition which I learned from Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, if I have to specifically quote that and how I get influenced from that, he once said, leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go ahead, whereupon others to follow, not realizing that all along the way they are being directed from behind. We are working in a system where we have to provide an environment to our people, to our staff, to our faculty, to our non-teaching staff, where they get something to come out with their own. Obviously, in the direction in which we want them to achieve, we want to achieve the goals, we want them to realize the vision of the university. Not only in this position, but entirely, I have always been influenced with this idea that we should allow people, we should provide them climate in which they work themselves to achieve the best possible goals for themselves and also for the institution, because if the two goals, they go together, that is the only way to get the best result in any organization. And it has worked. This is something which I learned in Harvard Business School when I was there in short programs on 2 different occasions. I had the opportunity of interacting with Michael Porter in one of the workshops and also with the people like Deborah Stevenson. They were the people who presented these kind of views and I was influenced and I have used these. देखो, सब लोग अपना अचीव करना चाहते हैं. And it is just like if somebody is going astray, you have to bring him in. Otherwise, best performance comes. And this is the style, this is the practice which I have used throughout in my life. Almost two decades when I have been in educational administration, and it has really worked.
That's amazing, sir. We're glad you're sharing those, leadership style and the insights with us. We really appreciate that. And moving ahead to the next question, how does the curriculum of RIMT University ensure the best practice of industry?
Well, curriculum is something which is the most important thing in any academic institution, and this is a continuous process, to be very frank. And this continuous process and the relevance to the industry, relevance to the other stakeholders, that will hold true only if we involve them in all of the process of curriculum curriculum development. This is what we have been doing. We have tried obtaining the ideas from all our alumnus who have gone and been in industry in higher positions, that what exactly is expected by the stakeholders, the industry, corporate sector, and we try bringing in all those kind of changes which are required considering the contemporary context in which people have to work, and then try involving teaching learning pedagogy through which all those kind of changes which we normally make once in a year at least, we go through a thorough change. I remember in my previous university, sometime it used to take 3 years, 4 years to make changes because that was something conventional in public sector universities. But in private system, we are dynamic. We can adopt fast changes. Not we have to wait for 3 years or 2 years when that kind of periodicity works. Here we can be very quick in making all those kind of changes. And those changes are obviously in line with what our stakeholder expect. And that is something which, if we can serve our clients well, if we can serve our people well, that is something the best part of whole of the system.
Very well said, sir. That's true. And what do you think your roles and responsibilities to the institution and the students are?
Well, I am the chief executive officer of the university, and whatever goes on, whether it is on the front of the university, teaching side or student side or non-teaching side, everything is going to happen under my umbrella. And my main role is to rope in for each and everything by getting proper reports from every corner. On one side, I have to make sure that academic goes on well, subject to the best satisfaction of the students. And I have involved my own strategies to find out how it is going on and what best we can provide to the students. Similarly, I have to provide proper atmosphere, climate to the teaching fraternity that they can, do the best. And for that purpose, I have, formed a strategic management group in the university, where some senior faculty, senior deans and directors selected, not all, but selected. I keep them, discussing all the issues with them, and then we try what best is required on all the front, what kind of assistance is required for the students, what kind of assistance is required for the teaching fraternity, and that is what. And of course, once in a week, I have made it sure that I have to meet all the heads and deans to get the feedback, what goes on in the campus, and then try making all those things possible which are required for the best service to the students.
That's amazing, sir. Thank you so much for sharing those details with us. And, what would you like people to know about your institute which they might not know?
Well, RAMT University is 20 years old university, and started as one of the management institution long back in 2000, year 2000. Later on, engineering college, and then another engineering college, then law, and then education. So many other schools, they were established within the same campus. And then in the year 2015, all came together to become one university. And then after it became a university, number of other courses in liberal arts and basic sciences, they were also started. But that is what goes on as far the courses are concerned. I would be very interested to mention here that during last 3-4 years, ever since I have been involved with this, considering the kind of requirements in the country, where we find that engineering institution that has taken a backseat in majority of the engineering colleges, and scene has not been very comfortable if we see the enrollment throughout the country. This was the time when we decided to move towards paramedical, and that has been one area where we have got a very good response, and we are trying to establish ourselves in paramedical sciences. And maybe in coming year we may establish BAMS course, Ayurvedic, because that is also one of the priorities of our government, central government. They want to focus on that particular area, and we are already in tune with all the processes, and by next year we hope that we shall be starting that also. But this is in line with our complete focus, which we have shifted during last 3-4 years from engineering towards paramedical sciences. Besides that, of course, all other courses like law, management school, forensic is one of the area where we have been attracting lots and lots of students from throughout the country. And we have agriculture, we have hospitality, tourism, we have architecture, all those courses where the different schools, they had already been working for quite some time, they are operating. But besides that, our focus during last 3 years have been moving towards paramedical sciences courses. In all those courses are skill-based courses. We are trying to get in line with what country wants, that we must have people with skills in radiology, in lab technology, in nursing. All those areas are becoming focused now.
Very well said, sir. And so what do you see as RIMT University's greatest strength?
Well, one of the biggest strengths of RIMT is that they established almost for 2 decades, and they have already gone through the processes which in the learning, throughout the learning journey, any institution is to go, with vast experience which they have. And if you see a huge campus which we have, it's spread over around 90 acres of land, with the capacity of the resident students to the tune of 2,200. And we have a cricket academy within the campus for whole of the district, and a large number of students, they get into those kind of sports activities. Besides, of course, the courses where we have already earned a name over a long period of time.
That's great, sir. And sir, just when you first came to RIMT University, what was your vision for the university, and how it has evolved over time, and how far along in implementing that vision are you?
Well, let me tell you, Karan, there was a stage when I also used to think in terms of that this should be one of the university amongst the top 15, 20, 25. But after 6 months time period, in terms of the number, my idea was changed, because the way we have been developing and the way our requirements in the country has been more focused on creativity and innovation. These are the two things which I want to promote in our campus. I would not go in for establishing an institution which by different numbered game or whatever can get a rank and try showing that, okay, we are the good ones. But I would say, I would rather like to focus on creativity, innovation, and the quality changes which are required today, considering Indian education the way we see in the overall global scenario. It is not much appreciated, except for top some institutions like IITs or some other institutions. Even best of the students, when they go out of the country to see some career abroad, they have to justify their degrees there by doing some course, or otherwise they are not accepted, simply because throughout we have not focused on the quality. 90% of the institutions in India, they have not focused on quality. This is one area where I am too much concerned. And of course, if we can provide an environment where there is a creativity and innovation taking first place, then people will take care. I remember, one of the statement coming from the dean of Harvard Business School when we were in one of the classes there. He said, an institution, somebody asked him, how come Harvard Business School always is amongst first 2-3 institutions for the last 100 years? At that time, it was 93 years, when I was there. For almost 100 years, they have been amongst top 2-3. He said, we focus on, best of the faculty, and we focus on the selection of the students, and after that they take care, because innovation, creativity, discussion based, experiential learning, participant centered, these are few things which we leave it on to the students and the teachers, and then after that they take care, and institution automatically go to a higher level, the achievements which they want to have. This is what I always tried. These are few things which have influenced my thoughts, and always try to provide an environment instead of focusing on something where it is too much of a guidance. I don't believe. In India, one of the basic problem with our students community has been that they have been too much guided by the parents. They don't know where they want to go. They don't have the independent thinking. Their thinking is influenced. I am trying to provide a platform where they can have an independent thinking to decide what best they can contribute, and then they come out with the creativity and innovate something which can be useful for our nation.
Very well put, sir. We really, respect the thoughts that you have, and the ideology behind it. It's amazing. So the last question which I would like to ask in this interview, before we wrap it up, is any suggestions you would like to give the current youth and the aspiring students?
Just now, whatever I have mentioned, the level of maturity of our students who are coming to our institutions and the kind of schooling through which they are passing, they have stopped going beyond a limited direction. They don't think beyond. We have to tell them, every student is brilliant. Everybody except, if somebody is medically unfit as far as the brain is concerned, everyone is the same. Only thing is the direction which he is to take. Somebody may be excellent in music, and if we push him to engineering, I wonder if he is going to deliver anything. Somebody may be very good in engineering and he start pursuing, commerce or other line. It may be again something which is not going to, and all these things, we are learning at our home, in our school, कॉन्वेंट स्कूल में भेज दो, लिमिटेड वही किताबों में से ये वो, थिंकिंग के ऊपर फोकस ही नहीं है. माय सजेशन टू द यूथ टुडे इज दैट प्लीज मेक यूज ऑफ योर माइंड फॉर व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू थिंक. आई रिमेंबर वन ऑफ द इंस्टेंसेस, in 80s, Canara Bank in India, between 1982 to 87, that bank performed as one of the best banks. And I had an opportunity of talking to the chairperson of that bank, B. Ratnakar. He was a renowned banker. Later on, he became the chairman of ICICI Bank also. ICICI Bank came later. He became the chairman of ICICI. And I think later on he had an heart attack and passed away. Brilliant person. I asked him, how come you are in a position to transform the Canara Bank in a very short span of time, and it became one of the most popular bank in those days? He said, one of the best strategies I have been using is that I send my top people to go for a holiday, compulsory holiday for 15 days. Go to Manali, go to Kashmir, go enjoy your holiday, have best of the drinks, stay in a best of the hotel. But when you come back, you just have to come out with some scratch idea, keep jotting it down on your paper. If somebody doesn't come with anything, plain paper would be put in his personal file. And if somebody come out with an idea, which may be useless idea, he said, I used to put them, okay, experiment this. And this experiment, what will happen? 40,000 branches at that time were in loss. He said, one more will go into the loss. Makes sense. If it works, right, then it is going to transform 40,000. And this has made a difference. And this is what is happening today in Apple. The kind of atmosphere they provide, they allow their people to think whatever, and then give them a platform that, okay. So my suggestion to the youth is that think the way you feel like. Whatever ideas come to your mind, try giving shape to those ideas and try to move towards the direction where you get maximum of these ideas so conveniently and comfortably. And I think if we start moving towards this direction, if we don't snub our students, if we provide them, a platform where they can challenge our wisdom, that is something which is going to transform, because new ideas will come, and new ideas, if are implemented, everything is going to change. And, people will be there to take them.
That's amazing, sir. We really appreciate it. It was a very brilliant insight and, amazing message to the students. I really hope they would take something out of it and, it would change their lives. And I would like to thank you to be a part of this series. We really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you to you also. It was a nice interaction, and I'm sure we'll continue in touch with each other.
Thank you so much, sir. You have a good day.